Good morning, everybody. It's time for another delicious edition of Texas Oatmeal, and it's been a little while, mostly because I've been really busy since I got back from our long South Dakota trip. I've had no time to do anything for myself, so I've been working, painting, it's been crazy. Anyways, we've gone to a couple shows here and there, and I haven't really filmed anything just because I haven't had time to edit anything, so I'm going to attempt to film today and edit tonight or tomorrow or whatever and get a video out this week. Today we're going over to Southlake for a Cars and Coffee event. We've done this before. I've got a couple updates to the Vanderhall that I think a lot of people are gonna like. I say a couple updates. I really only have one update to my Vanderhall, but we're gonna talk about Hank's Turbo Pickle today. So stay tuned. Well, we've made it to Cars and Coffee Southlake this morning. We got here nice and early. You can see we've got quite a nice lineup down the road here. Good, don't worry about it. Quite a nice lineup with Hank's Speedster. So I haven't shown anybody this. If you're part of the forums, you've probably seen it because Hank has put it out there. But for those of you that don't know what you're looking at, this is the Speedster now. So they made 99 or 100 Speedster, single seat Venice Speedsters, right, with this extra cal tonneau cover here, single roll hoop, single rear bubble section back here, shorty windshield, so you know, no seat, the seat has to come out. So Hank has converted his to the single seat option. He can actually switch back and forth, so he can take the rear panel off, throw the original one back on, put the seat back in when he takes the tonneau cover off, throw the big windshield back on, and throw his roll hoop back in. In about 35 minutes, he can convert this from one way to the other. He's got a couple little mounts that mount the tonneau cover into it. He throws some little saddlebags in here, which those are sweet. They match really well with his little theme he's got going. But this thing, I mean, turned out great. And then, of course, he wrapped it. So he not only changed it to a Speedster, but then wrapped it in this green and yellow, what we're calling the Van Deer Hall for the John Deere theme. It's also been called the Turbo Pickle. So, you know, luckily Hank is a really nice guy, and he rolls with the punches, and we punch him a lot. So anyway, so this is now the Turbo Pickle. What was the black and yellow Venice? We got the Ariel Atom that's gonna park next to us, so that worked out good. But now, what was the black and yellow Venice is now the green and yellow Speedster. Sweet thing coming in right now. Alright, so as people are still rolling in and there's a little downtime because nobody's surrounding my car, I'll show you the update that I've done. I got a couple little things. We'll start with the small thing first. We've got this awesome thing. It's a Mediness. See, it's got some buttons right there. This is a chill, like a little cooler seat. It's got a little fan that gets built into the front of it. I took mine out. I'll tell you why here in a second. But there's a little fan that goes in this flap down here. You plug it into your cigarette lighter and it blows cold air. I say cold air. It blows air, right? Whatever ambient air across your butt and across your back. I modified it for our South Dakota trip. I actually ran a little cooler with some ice in it and a pipe over to this and a different fan that I have wired in. It was a real convoluted thing. Didn't really work that well because you can't get a big enough cooler to get enough temperature change in the pipe that goes over to this. So it didn't really work. So don't worry about that. But this part works flawlessly. Just having the seat, that it literally it's just plastic, like a grid inside this mesh, which sounds uncomfortable, but you don't even notice it because it's over such a wide area that when you sit in here, it doesn't feel uncomfortable by any means. but it gets you up off the seat. It creates that little pocket of air just behind the seat and on your butt. And when we drove around in this thing in, you know, 90, 100 degree weather in Texas when we came back from our trip, my back didn't sweat. You get just enough airflow through here, even with a Vanderhaal where it doesn't have a lot of airflow coming down in here. You get just enough that man, this thing works. So Hank, you know, showed up with a set of the old school beads that go in the seat, like the old 70s or whatever beads that you put in here for cooling your back and everything. He's like, oh, it works great. Well, this is the same idea, not beads, but for you to be able to drive around in warmer weather, man, this thing does an amazing job. So pick one of these up. This one was like 40 bucks. It came with a fan, but you can get some that are, I've seen some little bitty ones that just go back behind your back, which that's the most important part, is your back right here. The seat's fine, but really where you want it is your back. And there's some like little $20 or $25 ones from Walmart that just, you know, they're mesh and they sit in here and they push your back away from the seat, which work. I like this because it's a full back and it, you know, it doesn't look terrible. It doesn't look great, but it's not bad. I'm actually working with a company to redo the seat, the whole seat, in this material to make essentially a seat cover for us. They make seat covers for motorcycles that are this same idea, that are form fit to the motorcycle itself. But I've gotten in contact with them to make it for the Vanderhaal, since all of our seats are the same all the way across all the models. I'm pretty sure they can make it where it just slips on, and that would look a lot better for one, and again, keep you cooler in the summer. Selling this bike here, it's kind of a name your price kind of thing. He's got 35 in it, but for the right guy, he's gonna make a pretty good deal. So hit him up. I'll put his contact down below if you can hear me with the BMW revving next to me. But I'll put his info down in the description below for how to get a hold of him if you're interested in that bike. It's pretty cool. So the other change I've made is everybody that watched the South Dakota trips, in a couple of those I talked about the top and how I ran the top. In a couple of scenarios, it's Bill Eckhart's top. I'll put the link to his top in the description below, but I've modified his top a little bit. Bill, you know that you can't do any real driving with the top on there because it flaps around too much. You can't get enough tension on the top to drive more than about 30-35 mile an hour. It flaps around, hits your head, whatever. It just doesn't work. So what I've done is I've changed the top to where you've got some ribbing, basically some structure in the top, so that you can get some solid tension on all this. Pulled it back real tight back here, changed these straps to a little bit different strap, a little bit easier to use, to get a little bit more tension on it. And I put this bar through here. Now this bar is very temporary. This was literally last night at about 8 o'clock. I decided I was gonna throw this bar in there. It wasn't even painted yet before we came to this show. But this bar provides that little bit of arch and pushes up on the ribs that go across. These ribs are just fiberglass rod from a tent, like tent poles. And I just modified the ends. of the top to be able to stick them in the pocket here at the end. That's not the appropriate way to do it because you can see I undid the stitching, so the stitching's loose right here. But this is something we definitely can change. I'm gonna talk to him about this. Actually, he's probably gonna see this video before I talk to him about it. We're gonna change the stitching, make some pockets in here potentially if he wants to do what I think he should do, so that you can run these poles in there and then run this bar. Now this bar, it's coming back and I've just got it pulled tight against my luggage rack actually back here. I just wanted to pull it forward and down, so I've got this angle headed here, which puts the bend to it. It's just a flat piece of steel. I just painted it black. I know it looks powder coated because I'm a painter and I'm good, but just puts tension on it, stiffens up everything. And the other thing it does is it stiffens up the front frame that Bill supplies. So I actually bolted it in right here, So it's bolted on right here. You can see the bolts. I just drilled through his frame and bolted this through here. These are the stock locations for where he had some rivets. He actually has made this where this bolts on. So he has some holes right there. I ran a piece of bar across the top and ran a bolt through that. Now that bolt, I just finger tight that. And then there's nothing on the back other than the strap. So you can actually take this apart without any tools. And when I make this the way I really want to make it, I'm going to put a thumb screw up here that you can run that down and put actually a wing nut on the front. And then I'm going to cut this bolted on and put a thumb screw back here so you don't need any tools to take the top off. I'm going to change that setup so that this actually looks a little bit better and it's not this random bar coming out the back. But for today, it served its purpose, and it's kind of a test day to drive down the highway. I tested it last night a little bit, but now we drove for an hour with the top on at 80, 90 mile an hour. I mean, we did the speed limit, and man, it works flawlessly. You can still take this off and just take the tension off of here, and when that's bolted on, just take that off. And you can still roll this top all the way up, and slide it out, roll it all up, and it still fits behind the seats without having to bend it or anything. So it's gonna work out. Well, we're done with cars and coffee, heading out. You know, all these guys sit along the side of the road and wait for everybody to speed off right here, because that's the cool thing to do. Give the people a show. Give the people what they want. We got the whole line back there. We're gonna make this right-hand turn, I think, maybe. We're not really supposed to, but it doesn't make any sense to not do it because we're going right here off the surface road. And we're not gonna go U-turn, do all that nonsense. We've only got to drive 2 minutes over here. I'm going to get some food, and we're going to call it a day. So just figured we'd do a little quick video since I hadn't done one in a while. We're going to go in here and get a little food from our buddies at HG Supply Company. It's a great little place. It's where they do another Cars and Coffee. It was actually last weekend that I didn't come to at this location we're about to be at right here. As we all roll in, got some people parking straight up. We got other cool people parking backed up. You see, nobody else has been cool yet. See if Seth does that. Oh, Seth's gonna do it. He's gonna be cool like me. See them backup skills. See them backup skills. See them backup skills. Not bad. Not bad. Better than Hank. We'll see what Hank does over there. Oh, look, Hank's going a different way. What is going on over there? We got Troy going the wrong direction, Hank going the long way, and Troy didn't back in, he got scared. What are you doing? Why don't you park somewhere? We're all going inside here to eat, Hank. Did you not get the memo? He didn't back in either because he can't do it. Well, just finished up lunch, long lunch. And we were trying to pull out, but of course, we had some extra people, these three, that had to stop us and ask questions. So, I'm hot, and I'm ready to go. And Hank can't get out of there. All right, we'll see you in the house. Just like that, we are back from another amazing day, and it was very hot out there in Texas heat. Could have been worse. It was much worse earlier in the week. It was like still 100 outside. It's crazy. But the top is definitely helpful, giving you that little extra shade with the little seat going on right there. I'm currently not sweating, and I just drove back in 90-something degree heat with like, I don't know, what's the humidity? 54 in the garage, so who knows what it is out there. So that's gonna be it for today. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.
You must be blinded by the lights. We came to shine here. Watch it look daytime in the night. We bring the vibes here. We full of life, you keep the change, keep the change. They hate and say we went and changed. Why stay the same? You must be blinded by the lights. You must be blinded by the lights, lights. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh. We put the nets up in the lines, now we high, high, high. Kaleidoscope of colors beaming from our eyes, eyes, eyes. Would've thought was LSD, LSD. Can't lose my mind like Kennedy, Kennedy. You see us cooking recipes, recipes. You hit the top, all you left with is the memories. Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, go hard to have it is your purpose. We had some faith, then who gon' hurt this? I naughty night, you lullaby. I'm doing me, it's do or die. You must be blinded by the lights. We came to shine here. Watch it look daytime in the night. We bring the vibes here.